So the Mercury, I've got the prop shaft in, the exhaust in, the vacuum canister, vacuum assist canister, the speedo cable in, handbrake cables in. I had to make all the exhaust because it was, I mean the original exhaust was there, but this is a different box, so I had to cut it and shut it and play around with it, but it's all in there nice and solid on its original mounts. Just done a bit of work on the brake lines, so now I'm going to make the fuel line, which obviously from your petrol tank from there, and it will come up somewhere. I can't see any original. I would imagine there's clip holes somewhere. If not, we can tie it into this one with some other clips. I'll have a quick look in the manual and see if it shows the fuel line run. Fuel system 201. Air filter. Nope. Fuel line service. No, so I would imagine it just runs down that side of the chassis. So I found a fitting to go in there, and that is just a single flare fitting. So it tapers out inside. And that's for just a single flare fitting, you don't need a double on that. You can get straight copper tube, or this stuff which is a different colour. That's what's called copper nickel. Cupra nickel or something.
So what's the difference between this material?
This doesn't, you know, if you get copper and it goes green, it furs up.
Yeah.
This stuff doesn't do it. That's the only advantage of it. Right, pipe cutter.
So what machine is this called?
Brake flaring tool. So you can have what's called a single flare, which I'll show you, and then a double flare. Yeah, it's just makes a tight seal on any liquid. Oh, okay. Okay, you put that in there. Yep. Put him on there. Clamp it down. Okay, right on there, look. 5/16 or 8mm, so we've got 5/16 pipe, and that's operation 1. You put him round there, making sure that goes in the hole. Okay, so that's operation 1, yeah, which is done to that, you see. So that's operation 1. So operation 2, 8mm and 10mm. So if you're doing a double flare, all you do is leave that in situ. You've done your operation 1, you spin your wheel round, put operation 2 in, give it a good yank, and that's a double flare. So just push that lip that was there back round onto itself, so you get a nice double flare on it. So we only need a single flare, so we'll...
How do you know which flare you're going to need?
Just by looking at the end of the unit you're fitting into,
yeah,
basically.
But what are you looking for on that to tell you?
Concave or convex, whichever way it is, like that. So I know just a single flare will go in there.
Yeah.
Because if you double it up, it's too thick and you can't get it all in there. If you've got one that's facing that way, you put a double flare on it like that. Yeah?
Yeah.
And then that just squishes that into a seal. So if you've got a hole like that, you want one of them in there if you look at the angle of it, yeah? So if your hole, as you're looking into it, is going away from you, the taper,
yeah,
you use one of those. So that will force it in and just squish it in. If it's coming towards you like that, that obviously it won't work. So you just need a single flare for that taper to match it.
Yeah.
That's all it is. And for a single flare, all you want is about that much sticking over the end, because you're just flaring out that bit, yeah? If you're doing a double flare, line it up with that edge.
Yeah. Single
Flare that back edge there. It'll be more than enough. Lock him down. Okay, so single flare, give it a yank, and there's a single flare.
Okay.
That's the difference, yeah? And you can do all sorts of silly things with brake pipes, like do the flare and then think, I haven't put that on it. So you have to do it again, cut the end off and do it again. If you ain't got that on there, it's no good to man nor beast. So we know we need to go that way. Single flare. Right, so then we know that's tapered in there, so that fits up nicely onto that, yeah?
Yeah.
Your bit that's coming out your fuel tank is like that, so that goes in there. So as you do that up, it just sandwiches the lot together.
Yeah.
Right, if you want to come from there, always leave loads extra, you know. Alright, so let's put a join about there. Be enough. Right, so we want to do a double on this one, don't we? Okay, so we want operation 1 with our operation 2, operation 1. Okay, so that's billowed him out. And we go to operation 2. Squish him in. Okay, so that's giving us a bigger flare. Right. Okay.
So you put your flares on each end and the connectors on each end?
Yeah, it's very hard to do. I have got a handheld one, but it really doesn't work very well, and you can't hold that and do it. It has to be in the vise. But you can test fit them, get your bends where you want them, and then take it out. You know, put your flares on, and then. So now we can have a look. Line it up with the side of the chassis and come over the top of here. Bend it to start with, making sure before you bend it that your fitting is at that end. Because if you bend it, you can't get the fittings around the corner.
Yeah.
Right, that isn't going to fit up in there, so we'll come along and go to the underside of the chassis. That'll be fine. Sort out what we want to do. So we want a right angle somewhere. Give it about that. Him straightened out a bit. We've got room to come over there. There's a clip there, so that's probably it originally. A bit more than that. Okay. Okay.
How much can you bend these tubes before they start weakening?
Quite. I can give them some welly, yeah. It's pretty good, yeah.
You can bend back and forth, back and forth. Back and
You
forth.
didn't really want to do that, no. You know, once you've done the bend, you won't, because it hardens it as you bend it. Chop our pipe off roughly, so we've got plenty of room there, about there. cack-handed tool as well. Cack-handed tool holding it. That'll go around there. Right, that end I can do when we're in the engine bay, that's not an issue. Okay. Right, 3/16. Right. Over the top of there. Over there. Okay, so that needs a nip up. Right, that clears that okay. And then the top end, I can do that end from in the car, so that's fine. So get some clips, it's all good. Looks quite neat and tidy down there. What you want on it.
That's it.
Straight line, it's not chafing too bad anywhere. Move that clip to there, only an inch. It's the trouble when you don't know where anything went, you just got to guess it, do you know what I mean? As long as it's clear everything, I mean that's all clear of anything that moves. I can put a bracket on there to hold that flexible fuel line and then just a fitting onto that. Sweet. Yeah, that'll work.